In this video, I'm sharing a complete guide to growing plants from seed. It is so rewarding. You can grow so many different varieties, you can do it on a budget, and it doesn't have to be complicated and overwhelming. We'll cover when to start, the best medium to use, containers you can use, how to get the best germination rate possible, how to keep your seedlings happy as they grow, and how to transition them from the inside to outdoors with no problems. Hi, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Garden Unwind. On this channel, I help you grow a garden you love. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. So first thing, you need to determine when to start your seeds. For this, you really need to know your last expected frost date. Here in New York, Zone 7, our last expected frost date is the end of April. So you're going to use this date to count back, because when you check the back of a seed packet, it will tell you how many weeks before that last frost date to start your seeds. For example, if it says 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date, for us that would be mid-February to early March, I could start my seeds. So it's nice to go through your seeds and organize them according to when to start them. I like to start them in batches. I put rubber bands around the packet with a post-it note when to start to keep everything in order so that I don't forget anything. You really don't want to start your seeds too early, because then you're going to have to keep potting them up in bigger containers to keep them happy, and that takes a lot of time and more resources. And you really don't want to start them too late, especially crops like peppers and eggplants, because if you start them too late, you might never get a harvest by the time your frost comes in the fall. If you don't know your last expected frost date, just put your zip code in Google and type in last expected frost date. The next thing is choosing your medium. You want to choose a light, fluffy potting mix. They do sell seed starting mixes that come in small bags. These are expensive and the texture is very fine, so they tend to dry out quickly. So I like to use a high quality potting mix. The one I've been using lately is Coast of Maine. I've been very happy with it. You just want to make sure that it's fluffy and it's not full of sticks and bark chips, because you don't want to have to sift it. Next, you want to select your containers you're going to grow in. You don't have to spend a lot of money for this. I actually use a lot of meat containers like this. Ground turkey came in this. It fits my soil blocks nicely. You can plant in cell trays like this. You can sow your seeds in pots. When you are using repurposed materials, you want to make sure to drill holes in them so that they have drainage. You can use pretty much anything. It is handy to have some sort of tray to put them on. You can get trays like this 10 by 20 tray to place them on, or you can even use a boot tray or whatever you have on hand. The next thing is providing adequate temperature. You want to know if your seeds like it warm or on the cooler side. Many seeds like it warmer to germinate, like tomatoes and peppers. So if you're growing your seedlings somewhere like an unheated basement where it can be a little bit chilly, you're going to want to provide a heat source. An easy way to do this is to use a seed starting heat mat. They come in different sizes. I talk about this in my seed starting setup video. I'll link that in the description. Some seeds like to be on the cooler side. They actually have to go through a cold period. I talk more about this in my winter sowing video. I'll also link that in the description. It can get confusing what seeds like what, so I did make a seed starting cheat sheet of just popular vegetables and herbs. So it lets you know the soil temperature they like to germinate at, the days to expect them to germinate, and also whether they want light or darkness, which we'll get into next. And some seed starting tips for each plant. I'll link it in the description. A light source. If you're starting your seeds inside, you're going to need some sort of light source. If you have a very sunny window, that'll work. If you don't, you can use LED shop lights. They work great. You don't need to go out and buy expensive grow lights. Some seeds need light during the germination phase. Others like it dark. Some don't really care either way. Some seeds need to be sown on the surface so they can get adequate light exposure. Others need to be covered. So you can check the back of your seed packet for instructions or look at my cheat sheet. Maintaining moisture is the most important thing. For seeds to germinate, they need consistent moisture. You cannot let them dry out. The easiest way to do this is to have some sort of humidity dome over them. They sell plastic domes that are exactly for this, but if you don't have those, you can even just use a plastic bag, put it over your pot. You want to create a rainforest environment to encourage germination. After 50% of your seeds in that tray have germinated, you want to remove the bag or take them out from under the humidity dome and then put them in your sunny window or under bright light, and then continue to keep them moist. After your seedlings have emerged and they're big enough, you can prick them out and give them their own home. This is important because right now they're competing with each other. So if you give each seedling its own home, it's going to grow so much bigger and so much faster. You can put them in little cell trays like this, or you can use little pots, or if you want to get advanced, you could put them in soil blocks. Most sources will tell you that you have to make sure they have 2 true leaves. I haven't found that to be true. Sometimes it's actually easier to not wait and to get them out before they even have that set of true leaves, because then they don't have so many roots tangling in each other. So it's really up to you. And here's a tip. If your seedling is leggy, that's not a problem. Just plant it deep. Plant that entire stem in soil and it'll develop roots and it'll be a strong, happy seedling. Hardening off. When you start your seeds indoors, you're gonna have to acclimate them to the outdoors slowly. They haven't been exposed to sun or wind yet. A structure like this unheated greenhouse is perfect because it gives them filtered light and it also exposes them to cold temperatures at night. If you don't have a structure like this, you can use a cold frame, or you could use a plastic tub and drill holes in the top because you don't want it to get too hot in there. Or if it's not too windy, you could just leave the lid slightly ajar. The other option is to bring your seedlings out for a few hours every day for a week, gradually increasing the time that you leave them out. Because if you just take your seedlings and put them directly from the inside where they're cozy and warm and not exposed to any wind or sun and put them in your garden, they're gonna wilt, they're gonna go into shock. So you wanna acclimate them first. Starting plants from seed is incredibly rewarding, but don't feel overwhelmed and don't feel like you have to start every single plant from seed. Plant shopping is fun too. One year I started my peppers a little late and my seedlings were looking small, so I went out and I bought a pepper plant called Italian Marconi, and I've been growing its offspring ever since. It's actually right here. The plant was so prolific, I collected seeds from it, and this is one of my favorite pepper plants. So don't feel bad about having to buy a plant. It can be a really great investment. If this video was helpful, hit that like button. And if you're having any trouble growing a particular seed, let me know in the comments. I'd love to help. And don't forget to download that free seed starting cheat sheet. Thanks for watching. Happy seed starting.